here. If I go to announcements, let's have a quick look. Awesome. Bricks. Why are there bricks? We're going to need lots of bricks. Oh. Good evening, everybody. I have gone live. Yes, I have gone live. Oh, I hate it when it does that. No, I still haven't seen it. Have you sent me it through? I don't know what it is. Awesome. Yeah, I want to talk about quite a bit this week. I want to talk about some of the issues I've had. It is kind of mid-project, but if I switch to computer at any point, it would be mid-project. So I'd actually gone away to go see my dad, and I thought, well, I'll get some work done whilst I'm away. And so I took the laptop with me, and I set up a microphone and everything, and it worked fine. I recorded several videos, not a problem at all. I returned home to something completely different. I plugged in exactly the same setup initially, and you may have seen it on the Discord. I ended up with garbled audio that sounded like a sampling rate issue. And yes, that is indeed. Jan seems to be muted. Do you? What's going on today with everything? Today is not a good day. Right, let me have a look at the output settings. Yeah, we had loads of fun earlier. So where are you at the moment? So I'm just going to turn on this.
I'm here.
I'm putting you across all channels. So
channels?
hopefully, sign language stream. I'm not being too loud. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear Jan now.
Right, I have to make noises for that.
Yes. We had this trouble earlier. I'm like, let's test the stream and make sure it's all working. Nope.
He tested it and then changed computers.
Yeah, I was getting to that, wasn't I? So can we hear Jan? Please let us hear Jan.
We're not there with the delay yet. I'm still doing sign language.
Can you do sign language? I cannot.
I mean, I could say something.
Hey, Roderick has confirmed you have your voice back.
Hooray!
So if he disappears now, you know I've deliberately just muted him. Yeah, he can be quiet for a bit. Yes, so where was I? So I went away to my dad. I took the laptop with me. I set everything up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is brilliant." It was recording. Everything was working exactly fine. We cross streams. We never do that. And I returned home, set everything up, and it was working absolutely fine for a couple of videos. And then suddenly I was like, and I was like, "This is not good for the recording."
I've been telling him all week. I'm really struggling to understand what you're saying. Like, you're loud enough, but the signal quality is so bad. I'm having to work. He's like, "No, it's fine."
But
no,
that
it isn't.
But that's that. So this is another thing why it's so flustered this evening. OBS is recording everything absolutely fine, but when I'm talking to Jan and using voice like either Discord or Video Ninja, it was still misbehaving, and I'm like, what's going on here? And it turns out that Windows is doing exactly the same. So OBS has the audio meter, and I can see that I'm going up to around -5 dB, which is good. You don't want to clip and all the rest of it, and you need a bit of space. So if I get excited, it can cope with it. But then the audio signal that I'm sending Jan is also really quiet. I'm like, what is going on here? I still don't know. And
that's great stories.
The worrying thing, well, for me, it's like the worrying thing is I'm supposed to be relatively competent at this. It turns out, nope, not if the computer says no.
It was really weird because you went through every audio setting.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, the first time was on Sunday. We try and meet up and play games together, partly for a design thing, and partly just so we can actually hang out without like work involved. And it took him about 20 minutes for me to be able to understand what he was saying. And I kept saying, it sounds like there's a gate being applied to your voice. It sounds like your voice is gated. It's like, no, it's not. Eventually, it's like, oh, there's a setting here on Discord saying gated. Is this better? It's like, yes. Yes, that's better. It's
Why
like
is this set? Why is this setting enabled?
But the best thing is, we met up at 5, got everything balanced. Then Mikey decided to change computer, but it didn't occur to either of us that we should probably check that it works again.
That's the thing, right? I've not touched this computer. I put my video up and I was like 10 times wider. I was not like I should have been. I was like squished. No, that's... Anyway, I'm not going to play around with things because inevitably I will break them. And if at the moment we can hear Jan, see Jan, and hear me and see me, we shall stick with that. I've also got lights today. I don't know why the video... I was orange. I was a tangerine when we started this conversation.
You look like you'd been tangoed.
And I hadn't changed any settings. So I really don't know what's going on at the moment. But it can be frustrating. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about this evening is like preparation and preparedness if you need to move a project from one computer to another. Now, that might be out of necessity. Your one's broken. Or it might be because you're changing the way that you're working. I want to make sure that I can do a lot of the stuff on the laptop. Now, I've actually got that bit nailed down, but it took nearly an entire week to sort out all the little niggles that I shouldn't have had.
That is a word that isn't going to make any sense to our Americans. You should probably use a different one.
What, niggles or aluminium?
Yes, no, I've found this when I was in the States. I actually got into a little bit of trouble when I was teaching for using that word. It means little annoyances.
Yes. And it obviously means something else in the States.
It doesn't have a meaning, so people just hear the closest word they know, and that's not what they're saying.
Oh, no. Niggles. As in small little annoyances that build up over time.
Yes.
Yes. So...
It's like boy band.
So, yeah, I'm quite happy technology-wise being able to move things from one computer to another, but there are certain things that just don't work. One of the first things that I realised doesn't work...
Boy bands, sorry.
Like boy bands. One of the first things that I noticed didn't work was because it's a completely different operating system, all of your links and settings and things like that, they obviously don't transfer over.
Yep.
Even if your username was the same. And then you've got all your hardware settings and things like that. Now, there are some things that are brilliant. So my main computer is still a PC and a Mac at the moment. I'm just hovering between the two. One of the things that I've often had a trouble with when it comes to is Windows and its window management. You know, you put something on this monitor and then the next time you start up, it's over here. For some reason, Mac handles that incredibly well. If I open up all my programs, even Finder, which is Windows Explorer equivalent, all the windows snap to where they were previously on the right monitor.
That's the same as
and I'm like,
OS, which is the Linux distro.
Yeah, right. And that sort of thing, you think that something called Windows would actually work with Windows.
I mean, yeah, but it's interesting. I remember when I wanted to switch from Windows to Linux, I knew that this was the kind of thing I needed to not do mid-project, and actually finding the time when I could do that, because we had no idea if I'd be able to use recording software.
That is very true.
Like, you can't do this in the middle of a project. We can't lose a month of work while you mess around to try and find window keys and all the rest of it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So, yeah, don't do that. But I can't speak for other people, and I want to say at the beginning, if you're enjoying Windows and it's working for you, you should be using Windows. That is absolutely fantastic. I do not regret moving away from it, especially now when Steam Proton is so good at playing the vast majority of games.
Right? Yeah.
There's
I was
one
shocked
game
with that.
I've had trouble with, and it was I forget the name of it. The one where you go around demolishing buildings and doing crimes.
Oh, Teardown?
Teardown, thank you. I had a lot of trouble getting that to run.
Teardown is an amazing game.
Been fun and fine, including Watchdog Legions, a game I would describe as being almost offensively
Yes, it passes the time, right?
It's it's a game that I ended up doing side missions because I really didn't want to do the main plot.
Yeah,
I just didn't care. But it was fine. It's very technically impressive, and there's a lot of systems in that that are worth looking at. As a game, sure. The V Rising thing worked fine. Like most games work fine. So where it is at the moment, I don't regret it, but it was a scary moment. Moving all my projects there.
Yeah.
Moving OBS there. Doing the fun thing of Resolve does work on Linux, but only on CentOS unless you go use this third-party script, and then you're going to have to convert all your videos from MP4 to MOV and then back again.
Yeah, that was painful getting through that process. I remember as you were switching over.
Once I got it, it's very fast. But
Yeah, I mean, it was really weird. There were weird problems. As I say, everything was working, and then it just wasn't. And I narrowed it down once again to OBS. So I actually had a moment where I was like, "Well, can I use something else other than OBS?" Because the way that I'm using it is exactly the same. And so in the end, I just ended up until I sorted everything else out and got back here. I just ended up using QuickTime, the built-in movie player that comes along with Apple software, has a screen recording function that covers absolutely everything. So I was
nice.
like, okay, yep, fine. I'll happily go along with that. But it was very interesting. And then I had another issue, but that was my fault. It was a user error. I had changed the resolution of the screen to play a game with Jan on Sunday. I changed it back again, but I didn't restart OBS in between, so it ended up recording like this small bit of the screen.
Oh, do you leave your computers on all the time?
Not all the time, no.
I shut mine down whenever I'm not at the computer for like.
I often use standby. So
I remember when I was a lot younger, like in the 19th century, in the 1990s.
1843.
There was a belief that shutting down and restarting a computer used more power than leaving it on for a week. So nobody shut them down, but that got debunked quite quickly. Now I always shut them down if I'm not using it, primarily because otherwise the cats will do things. I have had projects deleted while I'm at the keyboard. Like, I'm not doing this well.
Yeah, if they manage to hit the shift and the delete key at the same time, that's it, it's gone. Not even the recycle bin. Well, with Windows, I don't know if there's an equivalent on Linux. But yeah, man. Now, so off my big beefy computer, I don't have that on all the time because I don't want a 300-watt space heater. I really don't. It's one of the reasons I moved
looking forward to summer hitting.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I like using the laptop.
Windows. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I will still use this, and I'll switch over to rendering on this machine because, quite frankly, if you've got the horsepower, then definitely use it. Video editing, absolutely phenomenal on the Mac and on the PC if you've got the right hardware. So,
yep.
It covers all bases, but it has had its surprise frustrations. And still have issues that plague.
But I mean, that's true with most machines. I mean, that was certainly true when I was on Windows. And I don't mean like random bugs. I mean, like, I don't like how this works. It's true now I'm on Linux. There's plenty of things that are just annoying. Like, I am reasonably competent, but there are times when, what do you mean my sound drivers have moved?
Where have they moved? Why did they not notify me?
What do you mean you can't update my computer anymore because it doesn't recognize it? Doesn't happen often, but it just happens, right? Like sometimes the machines either don't work the way you expect them to, or just don't work.
Yeah, I came to a decision today that if I'm going to be playing games, I'm going to use the PC. It's very good for playing games. If I need to work, I'll probably mainly use the laptop, and the two shall not meet because I'm not having the same situation where I change the resolution setting and it doesn't reflect in my recordings. I mean, it was a good recording, very good recording.